The TOEFL iBT Prep Plus book from Kaplan is one of the only TOEFL prep books from a major publisher that comes with a high score guarantee or your money back. But given such a bold promise, does this book have what it takes to help you crush the TOEFL iBT exam? Let's find out in this video. Now let's discuss some features of this book. For starters, it includes 4 practice tests which you can only find in the online resource that accompanies this book and not in the physical copy of the book. Now this is unlike the other TOEFL prep books from other major publishers where you can find practice tests both in the physical copy of the book and also with the digital resource that accompanies the book. The book also includes audio CDs which you can find on the very last page of the book, and these audio CDs contain tracks to the listening, the speaking, and the writing section which you're going to need in the subsequent chapters that discuss these sections in the book. Now a new purchase of this book comes with access to a free online digital resource where you can find audio tracks which are the exact same as the audio tracks found in the audio CDs that accompany this book. You would also find additional learning resources as well as the 4 simulated practice tests with detailed answer explanations. However, keep in mind that access to this digital resource is only valid for 1 year from the day you register the book. Now, unlike other TOEFL prep books on the market, this book promises a high score guarantee or your money back. However, note that this money back promise is only valid to buyers who reside in the United States. Now, what I like the most about the book is the online practice test experience. When it comes to the test taking experience, I found that there is no other TOEFL prep book that does an excellent job of mimicking the real TOEFL iBT as well as this book. For example, during the test taking experience, when you start the practice test, you'll be first presented with a reading section, the listening section, followed by a 10-minute break, and then you're presented with the speaking and the writing sections. Now, this is unlike the practice test experience you'll find in the official guide to the TOEFL iBT from the makers of the TOEFL, which is ETS. Now, when I analyze the difficulty of the practice questions in this book to those you can find on the real TOEFL iBT exam, I found them to be about the same. So what this means for you is that if you're going to be practicing with the questions in this book, you can rest assured that you're not going to find any surprises on the day of your TOEFL iBT exam. Now, in this book, you would find tons and tons of test-taking strategies for the TOEFL iBT, which could be a pro or it could be a con, but more on that later. A pretty neat feature of this book is a performance summary and an item review report that you obtain at the end of each practice test. These reports are powered by Kaplan's adaptive learning technology. The performance summary is a smart report where you can see how well you did on the reading and the listening section, while the item review report breaks down how long you spent answering each question on all sections of the simulated online practice test. Now, both of these smart reports are such an excellent way to learn how well you've mastered each section of the TOEFL iBT exam, as it does a good job of exposing your strengths and weaknesses. While reviewing the online learning resource that accompanies this book, I found the information on the structure of the TOEFL iBT exam to be outdated. This information on the structure of the TOEFL iBT exam will need to be modified to account for the shortened version of the TOEFL iBT that took effect in 2019. So be careful when relying on that information on the online learning resource of this book. When it comes to the learning resources that accompany this book, I found that they pretty much just repeat the exact same thing you can find in the book and don't really add any extra information. Another con of this book is the limited access you get to the online learning resource of only 1 year compared to those of other major publishers that could spend 2 or more years. So if you have a TOEFL prep timeline that exceeds 1 year, you might need to purchase a new version of the book in order to gain access to the online learning resource. Now, while the book is packed full with tons of test-taking strategies for the TOEFL iBT exam, the book does not do a good job of presenting these strategies in an easy to digest way. I found that with most of the test-taking strategies in this book, there just are not enough guided examples to show you how to apply these strategies effectively. Given the poor presentation of the information in this book and considering that readers of this book have varying abilities of using English in an academic setting, many readers will find this book to be overwhelming and quite disengaging. Of all the cons of this book, I found this one to be a major deal breaker, especially for readers with an intermediate English language proficiency. In my opinion, the 2 things that make this book great are the similarity of the online practice test experience to the real TOEFL iBT exam and the smart reports you get at the end of each practice test. In my review of dozens of TOEFL iBT prep books on the market, I found that there is no other TOEFL iBT prep book that does a great job of mimicking the real TOEFL iBT test experience as well as this book. Not even the TOEFL iBT prep book released by the publishers of the TOEFL iBT exam, ETS. So if that's what you're really looking for, then I would recommend this book. Otherwise, I think you will be better served with the Barron's TOEFL iBT prep book, which you can find a review right here.